What's up everyone, it's Jambor's new video, and let me talk in this video more about the votes at this Eurovision Song Contest, about the principles, about what happened, about this Israel, about the joke acts, about Albania, but more likely in some kind of context, because I see so many passionate discussions. I see some countries, delegations, or television broadcasters' reactions. And I'm like, is this really a feedback the Eurovision needs? Is this really a feedback those television are putting efforts at? If I think we have much more serious problem than actually is the voting in the finals. Let's talk. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very glad you're here. Long time no see, like 3-4 days after Eurovision I'm doing this video, but I was having so many thoughts in my head. Of course there will be another upcoming videos after season. We will do some kind of aftermath with Ellie about the finals, how we saw the whole thing, how we enjoyed it also with our friends. Maybe it will also help you to understand how casuals are thinking about Eurovision, because like as Ellie, even she's a little bit indoctrinated by me, then other friends, they don't care about Eurovision that much and they basically watch us just to have fun on Saturday night with us. And it gave me also a very interesting feedbacks, and because I'm a television producer, sometimes you misinterpret it as musical professional, but I'm television professional. It's a little bit different thing, even though with more complexity. I need to do all my shows more likely for casual viewers. This is the most important base, because there are always more than hardcore fans. So this is the people I need to captivate. I need to understand their thoughts. I need to understand what they like, and ideally to make it the way that it's still extremely professional but still captivating for those people, because afterwards those are the people who are watching in mass Eurovision. And this is also a big part of this video, because of course I'm part of the bubble a little bit. I see it, I see the motivations, I see the sympathies, I see the hate, I see opinions, I read, I'm into it, I'm very curious about what the bubble think. But we need to stress out one thing: the Eurovision bubble, the hardcore fans, even if they are just million, we just saw the numbers. Eurovision was watched by over 170 million people. So 1 million, it's less than 0.5% actually of the full viewership, or something about this number, right? So we feel, and you feel, that you have extremely huge right to evolve Eurovision, that you have a full right to see the changes, to influence the changes, because you're there, you're on the stadium, then you see. But the sentiment there was completely different. Yeah, but the casuals doesn't care. They watch Eurovision, they maybe read some news somewhere over here and over there, maybe some marketing stuff from other countries who wants the vote from them, not just Israel, all the other countries, most of them, and so on and so on. And those people are viewing Eurovision from completely different perspective than you are. They are not that involved in the music, so they don't change their opinions. Even as me, I was watching, first of all, I will give you the example, Erika Wickman's performance in UMK, and I was like, but for whom it is? This is for sure more for the bubble than for the regular viewer. And then we saw it in the results. And because this is my work to kind of think in more complex way, otherwise I wouldn't be able to do my job properly, I'm trying to give you this feedback to try to think also a little bit differently, or at least to bring you or give you another opinion, options in your head to calculate a little bit. Because of course, even for me, I need to take a pause after Eurovision to really settle down my thoughts, calm down a little bit, because of course I saw the results. And even though I predicted they will be more spread this year, because it's hard to choose both for juries, both for viewers, who to vote for, we saw that it was kind of extremely interesting in this way. Basically, this was extremely interesting element of this year's Eurovision, unless music. Who will win? How big differences? Is Israel winning? Is Barabastu winning? Is France winning? Hard. But we are complaining about the votes. Let me stress this out. First of all, probably the number of voters is crazy. It's not just Eurovision fans are voting, like for example in Benidorm, and then we see the results, right? Because this is far from what casuals like. And we see it in Poland, when the Fame won over Quality. And then, but we saw the result at Eurovision somehow. Then we see, for example, Israel. We see the sentiment. We see the sentiment voting. And now I will tell you that, and I think this needs to be stressed out, and let's talk about it from many perspectives. Because of course I understand so many of you, I don't understand the broadcasters, but I understand so many of you say like, how it's possible they receive so much, they invest so much in the advertisement, this is unfair. But you know, casuals don't care. Casuals care about few different things. And I was stressing in the beginning of this season kind of, or in the half part of this season, that more Israel will become a topic again, and aggressive topic, it will make casuals to vote for Israel. Because you live in the bubble where kind of this is a monothematic topic, like everybody is more likely against Israel. For valid reason, for invalid reason, for example, I'm not at all fan of Netanyahu. Like I think this is also need to be stressed out that I'm not impartial because I'm on the side of Israel in general, but I'm definitely not on side of Netanyahu and the decisions and the Gaza situation nowadays and so on. But casuals, they are more likely on my side in this. And they are not, they hate radicalism. And what they see, it's radicalism. They see crazy radicalism. And of course, the individual sentiment is like, but I want to then support Israel. And this is the biggest advertisement actually. It's not what Israel is doing, sends 20 votes and so on, like all the other countries are doing similar thing. They invest less or more, but you know, then people are watching it and then they see it. And of course they have TikToks and Instagrams and so on. When they see this hate and they say like, but come on, this lady was performed amazingly. It was one of the best numbers of Eurovision 2025. Regardless, you like Yuval Raphael or Israel, like objectively it was. It was big, it was looking great, she was singing perfectly, it was having the atmosphere, goosebumps and everything. It was, especially with her story in it, you know, involved. This all counts. Like, tell your country to bring better story or better music, ideally. I think that would be vital. And then maybe you can also receive a lot of votes. It's not a coincidence, you know, and they see this and then they see how much strong that person must be to do this performance with this emotion, with this vocal, with this expression under such a pressure. And don't even think that this pressure comes from you, of haters of Israel. Let's say, I'm also talking for probably for people who are not, but the pressure comes from Eurovision itself. Now, the pressure on her for the security, for the booing, for the hate, for all of this comes from one side, but there is another pressure from Israel and the expectations of Israel. And we saw it that also Israel delegation was completely like you know, it's basically doing the same as the other broadcasters against Israel. They were doing it against the jurists because they expected more points. But where we are, respect the result. Where we are, it's democratic, it's a balance. Public is voting, and public voting will always go with the sympathy, always. And it doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. Public votes are emotional. And they do neighbor voting, they do diaspora voting, they do any other voting for fun, for low quality songs but funny. They do it. This is, why are we even talking about it? Public voting will always do whatever. This is not professional, you know, this is based on so many factors. I saw the hate on Ukraine, that Ukraine can do shit and still receive points. Like, first of all, they are not doing this, right? And also Israel it's not doing it. They're sending Quality at least. So they deserve those points, of course. But of course, they have diasporas and people who want to support their own country. Come on, you would do it also. This is not weird, this is not wrong, this is public voting. Public voting is kind of predictable and unpredictable at the same time. It's the emotional based. It's based on data. If people see that you're booing on Israel, that you're showing Palestinian flags, you're doing better advertisement for Israel to be sent votes even from people who doesn't care, than if Israel just do some advertisement campaign, you know, because otherwise You won't send points, just don't forget for Israel. It's like I don't like the song, so why would I do this? It's a like they tried this, but I don't believe it. Maybe some people voted from another countries, VPNs, bought SIM cards and so on. They were showing it on TikTok. They're not helping the Israel cause. They're not. It's also a bullshit. But they can do it. Also your countrymen can do it. And also for sure they did it. Maybe not just en masse and so on. But we can see those very different results. What is important that there's also jury, which is balancing it. And sometimes they go with public. Sometimes they do completely different ways. And this year, because there was the very average, below average year of music in general, they splitted their votes completely randomly regardless. Because there was nothing really to choose from unless Austria at some point, which was at least a superior song. But still, it wasn't, for example, that exceptional as Nemo's song or Lorin's song. We can also question why it's possible that Eurovision fans are voting for funny songs, which are not anyhow special, but they do. And okay, let's respect it, let's respect the result. I think in this, Baby Lasagna was great. Like, I came second, for me it's a victory. Congratulations to the rest, fine. Somebody also ended up last, look at Albania. You can say like they were robbed by juries. Then I'm with my friend, she's a singer, and she said but she couldn't hold the voice properly in the professional manner, which even I couldn't hear it, but maybe professionals did it, right? And so on and so on. Running order, why we are not questioning running order is made by the person. That also changes sentiment, something which is now happening is when people can vote from the very beginning, it gives the edge to the songs which are starting. Then so many viewers will go to sleep because they cannot do 4 hours show. They just simply cannot. And the ones which are more likely to last, no one maybe sees them, and maybe also juries are kind of tired. All of these factors play game, and you can say that this shouldn't be like this, but this is reality. Let's talk realistically. Also in politics, if you want to push some kind of law, and it's important, you will basically schedule it at the end when no one has power to argument, and like after all, it's all a game. And I'm telling that it would be much more vital to make it even more regular. Countries are drawing by themselves. The voting not starting at the beginning, because okay, all the diasporas, for everybody will send their points. What else, And then people who see some acts say like, oh, this is cool, and they will never see the other one because they already sent their votes, or they already sent their votes and they don't have enough to send it to the other one. It's who's inventing those like options at Eurovision actually are the ones to blame, not Israel, not anti-Israel, but we are trying to find an enemy in Israel because of the results we don't agree with. But it's a bullshit. It's completely democratical. We should more likely call how it's possible that we have such a low quality Eurovision this year. And I'm not talking now about the production, but about the music. How is it possible? How is it possible that we have so many artists who cannot sing? How is it possible that big 5 countries are not able to send a complete package in general? Why, or some of them could, why we don't have juries in the semifinals? Because there is lying the whole problem, the whole issue of this. And I'm stressing it out all the time. But if you know that this is the victory, to get to the finals. We are talking about finals, but semifinals. That most countries need to qualify. And they know that the easiest way to go there is to send folk and fun. And it's proven. It works better than anything else. Then they will do it. But of course with this we are losing quality because this music is not international. And then the question is, why are we going to Eurovision? To showcase our culture only, or we want something bigger? And of course with this, the bigger artist who wants to shine in the world probably won't go to Eurovision, and the countries are losing quality. Also for the fact that the producers of Eurovision in each country will say like, there is no chance with this. We need to send something jokish. And we, for example, see how it helped Malta. It was a smart decision for them because they need to qualify, but then the result doesn't really matter because people then said, we don't want a vulgar things. Also for Erika Wickman, we don't want to see this. Or Oli Alexander last year, or maybe Belgium this year. We don't want to see this. We don't care about this. I don't want my kids to watch this. And you can tell whatever about it, but you must be also realistic. You must be also realistic in those things and not blaming Israel. Come on, guys. First of all, they didn't win. And if they win, so what? That would mean that they really bring the perfect package. But they also didn't. It wasn't a perfect song. I think last year they had better songs and they didn't have even such a good result. But because this year the quality of songs in general was lowered, the spread of votes was more critical around. Anybody could kind of win it. Let's be honest about it. Let's not blame one country for something your producers in your TVs did wrong. That the committees of Eurovision, which are based on those people, did a lot of wrong decisions. And those wrong decisions are leading to such results. It's simple as this. It's basically simple as this. And if the feedback for Eurovision for you guys that Israel is about to blame, or yes, basically this, and also the producers and broadcasters are like, we need to check the results. Why didn't they check them last year? Why didn't they check them last year? What difference was this? Why didn't they check it the year before or the year before? It wasn't a difference. It was just a different context. It wasn't different. Guys, wake up about it. Now the countries try to find out how to punish Israel for their own not good leading the project. Instead of saying like, why did we send such a shitty song? I think this should be it, right? What leads to this? Because we will now question the public vote. So last year or previous years, it was a jury vote. We are not happy with the jury vote. Definitely it was rigged. Now the rigged thing was the public vote. But I think it's more about what kind of producers are creating Eurovision and their rules. Its rules, I would say, more likely. Are we on the good track with this? Of course, I think the voting system needs a revision. 100%. But not in this way. We need balance. The balance is important. It's needed. And it's not about juries are saving something or not. Like, I don't agree with many juries' decisions this year, because I would do it differently. But every juror is an individual with a different taste, with different feeling, even though professional. You know, you think that in professional world that it works the way that I will say something and the other professional will agree with my vision? Of course not. Otherwise what? Otherwise there is no progress. There needs to be this disagreement, agreement, and all of these things. It's normal. But this is in professional world. In public, the sentiment is winning. Don't question the public voting. Like I said, it can be rigged by any other country if they somehow want to invest. But I don't think this is really happening. I don't even feel it. I feel people are voting based on sentiment, and sometimes you're living in the bubble and think that everybody is pro-Palestinian or anti-Israel or even anti-Semitic. But it's not. The reality is the opposite. Just those people are not screaming out loud because maybe they are afraid. They don't want to be dragged in the hate as you can create on social media. They don't want to, because they see how hateful you are. And then they punish you by sending votes to Israel. And even from the countries which feels like anti-Semitic, right? Because if you go for support of Israel in some countries like Ireland openly, you will be dragged in public. Not the opposite, that you're supporting, for example, terrorists, bearing those things on you and so on. It's fascinating for me, but then don't really be surprised of such results until this will not calm down. And I said it, if you're not making a topic out of Israel before Eurovision, they will receive less points. And I think they would, because the song wasn't that great. The topic is not anymore such a crazy topic in the news anymore, because everybody is tired of it. But you couldn't help yourself, and they received the points. You did a bigger advertisement for them, but I wouldn't even question it, because it's a public voting, and public will always vote what the sentiment is. It's a message somehow also. It's like why people voted Trump. Okay, now he's idiot, but they voted for him also for a reason, right? And you don't need to agree with it, but we need to accept it. It's democracy. When we will be questioning democratic things, which this voting is, public and juries, and we can question them, but we should accept them. Otherwise, we are lost. And do we want this? I don't think this is an issue. For me, in my opinion, the issue is that the quality of Eurovision goes down by music, even though it's more viewed. So even Israel didn't really made the, like, this year was the most viewed after, like, in 5 years, and by big margin, like 5-6 million. So this is also not an issue for people, for viewers to watch it, you know. Maybe it's a problem for you as a fan. Maybe you should avoid Eurovision then. And now you're also saying so many countries wants your, like, withdrawal of Israel. But I read about like 9, maybe even 10 countries. EBU is bigger, first of all, and second of all, I think the other countries are opposing this. They're just not loud about it. And this is lame in my opinion. Not that they are not opposing it openly, but that we are trying to find a reason for our own fails somewhere when they are not. And that's it. You might agree or not, but this is the conclusion. The elephant in the room is not Israel. This is just an excuse. The elephant in the room are the producers who should reform, or at least take back the jury system back to semifinals and push on quality of the songs. And then the discussions will be completely different, believe me. Yeah. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, become a member if you want to see more. I'm preparing masterclasses for all of the simple acts to describe you the stagings and tell you what works, what doesn't work, why it works, what was good, what was wrong, for you to give you some technical knowledge also. And see you there. Thank you for watching.